Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today what we're doing is taking a look at some AirPods Max replicas or clones. Those of you who are subscribed to the channel know that I've had the AirPods Max for basically since launch date, and I absolutely love these particular headphones. I use them mainly for editing. I've used them for the odd movie here and there just to test out spatial audio. The things I love about them is the noise cancellation, in particular the transparency mode, and obviously the added benefits of spatial audio or Dolby Atmos audio as we now get. So I was recently contacted by a seller from AliExpress, and he wanted me to take a look at his particular replicas. So I'll have all of his details, his store, as well as a link to the actual product itself linked in the description below. So first thing we're going to do is just have a quick unboxing, and we'll take a look at what the unboxing experience is like. So obviously I've had the AirPods Max unboxed for quite a while, so this is obviously very familiar to me, but obviously it's not 100% genuine, because obviously these have already been unboxed and used for a while as well. So we get the AirPods Max in the actual case itself, and if we just pop that to the side, the only other things we get in the box is some paperwork and the USB-C to Lightning cable. So we'll pop that back in there. Nothing else in the box at all. In terms of the box, obviously you do have some branding all the way around. Apple logo on both sides and AirPods Max on the top written just there, and then on the back this is basically what it looks like. So now taking a look at, I'll just pop that on there, taking a look at the replicas in comparison to the originals. For some reason they've included an ear cup, and I'm guessing that's to actually stop these moving around too much in the actual packaging itself. So it could be that obviously they're giving these just in case you want to actually store the AirPods away, or you want to take the cups off, and this will obviously stop the foam from deforming over time. Taking it out, what we'll do is we'll just pop that to a side and take a look at what we actually get in the box. So yeah, exactly the same. So you do get a pamphlet, and you get the Lightning to USB-C cable. So in terms of accessories, because Apple give you so little, it wasn't really hard for them to match it. So same thing again, we'll just move that to a side. And what I'll do is I'll just take these out and we'll take a look at what the difference is. So firstly, in terms of the charging case, the replica one, and you might already be able to tell that the replica is just slightly darker in tone. You should easily be able to tell from that particular shot. So the genuine ones are almost like a space gray. They're more of a gray color, whereas everything on the replica or the clones is more of a black. So this is more black than it is gray. And in terms of the magnets, we do also have a little crease, a line just there where the actual magnets are located. And unlike the original one seems to have round magnets just there, so it only grips in those particular locations, whereas the replica appears to have like a plaque or plate or something in this section here, and it's using that to actually locate. In terms of the magnet strength, probably about the same. If anything, the clones might actually be a bit tougher, because with these, every single time it stays closed, whereas with the genuine ones, sometimes if you don't clasp it far enough, it won't actually grip properly. It's not a big deal, but that's just something to note. In terms of the interior, it's very different. So the genuine ones have a very real Alcantara type material, a suede type material, very soft, whereas the replicas or the clones, they've got almost like a almost no pile at all material. It is softer touch, but it is not Alcantara or suede. So yeah, it might stop them from getting scratched up, but it's not actually offering any real protection from that point of view. Right, coming on to the actual AirPods Max themselves. So yeah, that's very different. Obviously this looks like a product that's been produced in China. This is what we're used to seeing on sort of replica products, mainly of like iPhone models and Android models, the replicas that you get early on before the products actually come out. So you have this sort of weird kind of branding paper all over it. So we'll take that off. The genuine ones didn't come with that, by the way. Okay, so we have the plastic wrap off, and the first thing to note is, unlike the genuine ones, which are made out of metal, these aren't metal. These are a plastic, and you might be able to just tell the difference just there. They don't feel particularly cheap in terms of the actual ear cups themselves. It basically, you won't really be able to tell just by looking at them, and obviously when you've got them on as well. In terms of weight, the clones are actually slightly heavier, and just looking at them, that theme of the color carries on the actual headphones themselves. So these ones are more of a space gray, the actual band that goes over your head, whereas this one's more of a black. In terms of the netting, yeah, there's a big difference. So the actual weave on the genuine ones is very tight, it's very thin, and it doesn't stretch very much, which actually makes it very comfortable to wear for long periods. With this one, I have already tested these briefly, only very briefly, just to get them paired up and everything, so I'm ready for when we actually do some of the tests later. And they're not uncomfortable, even though these are much more flexible in terms of the netting. It doesn't actually sink down to the point where this band is actually resting on your head. Just taking a look at that, yeah, the other thing that is different is on the genuine ones, the weave of this is almost it's almost like it's attached invisibly, so there's no actual seam that you can feel, whereas on these ones it's almost like this rubber coating has been stretched over the top, almost like a skin, and there is a little bit of an opening. Without wanting to ruin them, if you did pry at that, or well, yeah, there you go, you can see it just there. So it does, there's a little flap to the actual rubber, so I don't know how well that would hold up over time. Rotating these around, so let's see. So in terms of, yeah, in terms of your buttons and everything, they're all located exactly the same. It does have removable ear cups, just like the genuine ones. And if we take both of those off and take a look at the inside, in terms of sensors, it looks almost identical. The insides of these cups could be exactly the same. I mean, they may even be using molds from the genuine items in terms of the insides. Are these, how do the cups compare? No. So the genuine ones are incredibly soft, and that's what makes these so comfortable to wear for long periods. Nearly dropping it there. These ones have a firmer foam to them, so the padding itself is a little bit firmer. Yeah, these over time they might not be as comfortable. As I say, so far I've only done very limited testing with them. Right, so popping these back on, I think the magnet strength is probably about exactly the same between the genuine and the replicas. Okay, so just a little observation that I noticed whilst doing some of the B-roll. So inside each of the ear cups, you might just be able to see that they have these little Torx star head fixings in each of the ear cups, and you notice you have 4 on each side, except on the right hand cup on the replicas you've only actually got 3. So one of the Torx fixings wasn't even fitted or has fallen out at some point. So quality control on these particular headphones unfortunately is not the best. Also, just in terms of wear and tear, I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see this because it is kind of difficult to spot, but we do already have some scuffing on the actual outer casings. Now the original ones I didn't actually use without a skin, sorry, I used them without a skin for the entire time I've had them. And that was mainly because they do actually hold up quite well. The sort of banging that you get when you take them out of the case hasn't really been an issue, as most people claimed it would right at the start. Okay, there they go, just playing automatically. So yeah, these ones unfortunately already are showing a few little signs of wear and tear, which, bearing in mind that all I've done is literally shoot B-roll with these so far, doesn't bode well for the long run. We are back. So what we're going to do is a little bit of an audio test. So I have the genuine AirPods Max as well as the replicas. And what I'm going to do is the 3 various volume settings. So with noise cancellation off, with noise cancellation on, and then transparency mode. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some copyright-free music on the iPad. I'm going to play that in the background and we'll see what difference it actually makes. I'll pause it in between just to let you know which mode we're in at each particular time. Apologies for audio in this section because I am using the Sennheiser Ambio Smart headset. I didn't want to hook up a lav mic as well. I will be feeding the audio from the actual Sennheiser, the recording on my iPhone itself. I'll be feeding that straight through into the actual video. Okay, so first up we will use the genuine AirPods Max. Okay, and I believe these ones are set so then they only go through the two toggles. So what I'll do is I'll just play the music now. I believe this is in the transparency mode. So in the transparency mode, I can hear the vocals coming from where the iPad is. So right now it's on my left ear, and now it's moving to my right ear. It's very directional. It's basically what spatial audio is all about. We'll go noise cancellation now. And as you can see, in noise cancellation, sound completely cuts out. So with those, noise cancellation did a very good job of cutting out as much noise as possible, and with the transparency mode it was very directional, so you could tell exactly where the sound was coming from. Now what we'll do is repeat the same thing with the replicas. Okay, so this is transparency mode. And this is noise cancelling. So with transparency mode, not getting much. So that is transparency mode. Okay, right, so my findings. What I personally feel is that the genuine ones are very directional. So in terms of anything that's coming from your left hand side, you can tell clearly that is from the left. For anything that's coming from the right hand side, it's the same. It gives you a spatial awareness of where you actually are. For me, the replicas are not doing that. You're getting some passive sort of sound coming through, but the active sound is basically just stereo through, so it's not really doing that separation as clearly as the transparency mode on the genuine ones. So the next test will be spatial audio. Okay, so on the spatial audio side of things, if we come into Apple TV Plus, and I'm just going to use the same example that I've used in the past, so the Foundation trailer, and we will just play this one. Now if I switch this up and we take a look at the settings, okay, right now it's not actually giving me the option. Let me choose a different one. Yeah, there we go. So if I long press on this, it gives me the option for stereo, which is what it's currently in, or spatial audio. Now in theory what's meant to happen is if I move the phone or if I rotate my head, then the audio is meant to go around with it. what's actually happening is Okay, so on the spatial audio side of things, what's actually happening is if you don't enable the spatial audio toggle, then essentially what it's doing is it's narrowing the soundstage. So it's artificially narrowing the soundstage to make it sound like when you then enable spatial audio, you're getting this wider soundstage. Now the thing that it's not doing is it's not giving you any type of 3D surround. So spatial audio is supposed to put you in a little bubble so you can hear sounds from all around you, in front of you, above you, from behind you. None of that comes through. All you actually get is a sort of wider soundstage. So it sounds like the sounds are just coming from further away. Whereas when you have it disabled and it basically says that you're in stereo audio, it kind of narrows the soundstage. So I think it's actually doing similar thing to what the noise cancellation does, which is, or the transparency mode I should say, which is artificially pumping some sound through, which then makes it sound like when you then activate noise cancellation or something, it's better than it actually is. But when you compare it against the genuine things, it's not even close to being what the actual experience is. So my sort of takeaway from this is that if somebody's looking for just some replica headphones, some over-ear headphones, replica ones that technically do have some sort of a noise cancellation feature, they do something, they're just nowhere near as good as the genuine ones. Just shut that thing up. From a design perspective, yes, they're pretty much identical to the genuine ones, viewpoint anyway. From a feel and build perspective, no, they're not anywhere near. The sort of premise and the sort of caveat to that is that these are 1/5 the price of the genuine item, so you do have to bear that in mind. For me personally, would I personally buy these instead of the AirPods Max? No, but then this isn't for me. I'm not the target market for these. Yes, spatial audio toggles do work, the noise cancellation toggles do work, and the other thing that you've seen from the home screen is that the interaction with the home screen widget, the battery icon, the percentage, everything like that, it does update. So it looks pretty much like the genuine item. The box is very similar. There are others out there that on the box it actually has the writing, the logo and everything on there. On this particular one it doesn't. But yeah, that's obviously for you guys to make that decision. For me personally, a lot of the sort of aspects of this don't work. So the spatial audio doesn't do anything for me, and the noise cancellation and the transparency mode in particular isn't really good enough. Basically comparing it to these, the Ambio Smart headset, these actually have a better and more accurate transparency mode than these particular headphones do. Now the main thing about these isn't the transparency mode, it isn't the spatial audio, it's gonna be the way that they look, the fact that they're probably as close to a clone as you're gonna get. Yeah, there might be some more that come further down the line, but as of right now, I believe these are probably on par with anything else out there that you're gonna get in terms of replicas or clones. So yeah, for anybody out there that's looking for that, yeah, this is 1/5 the price of the genuine item. But for anybody that's literally just looking for what the AirPods Max actually do, which is they give you the very best experience possible with the most amount of ease, switching between devices. Your transparency mode for me is market leading. I've never come across any headphones with transparency mode as good as these, to the point where you sometimes forget that you're actually wearing them. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Obviously you guys leave your comments down in the comment section below. Any questions, I'll do my best to try and answer them, because I can't put everything across in this video in terms of my thoughts, what I hear in particular. Obviously I've tried my best with the Smart Ambio headset, but you won't get a full sort of idea of what's actually going on until you hear something like this for yourself. But obviously that was the purpose of using these particular earphones, to try and give you an idea to see what it's actually like. As always, as I said, links will be in the description below. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and also hit the bell icon. That way you'll be notified of any future videos that I actually post. And I'd really appreciate if you also give this video a thumbs up. And other than that, thanks very much for watching.